Hello, my name is Ilse Helbrecht. I'm a geographer from Germany. I work at Humboldt University in Berlin, and I'm a professor for social and cultural geography. And I mostly do urban studies, the social and geographical developments in cities. Well, the reason I'm here with the Harris program at Dartmouth College is because Mona de Mosch invited me. And Mona de Mosch is an urban geographer who's been here at Dartmouth for more than 2 decades. We've been co-teaching. It's been a lot of fun because sometimes we agree and sometimes we don't. And that's then the fun for the students, seeing two teachers, professors debating in class. And that makes it very lively and really a lot of fun. Urban geography, for example, I do study gentrification processes. And gentrification basically means the displacement of people with lower status from their groups, from their neighborhoods, and people with more economic, social, and cultural capital moving into the neighborhoods. And that, of course, causes conflicts, right? And so these kind of social urban conflicts are what I'm studying and what it makes for a big part of urban geography. And of course, in the American context, then the racial situation and the racial, even the racism plays a big part in that too, right? So studying that and being able to discuss that here with colleagues at Dartmouth has been fantastic. So I really chose urban geography as my specialty because I wanted to be part of urban governance, not as a politician, but as a kind of, as a consultant, right, in the urban governance systems. And I enjoy that with urban geography, that I'm not just, this, armchair intellectual, like sitting back and watching life out there, but rather that I, if I want to and I feel it's important, that all the issues I'm working on, they are so relevant, to society and to politics, that if I want to and if people have an open ear, I can engage in public debates. And I love that about urban geography. So one outstanding thing here definitely at Dartmouth is, the student-teacher relationships, the way that you which is exciting as a professor to really be much more able to individually, supervise and advise students. And also for the students, the professors, I think, are so much more available. And so it's a completely different intellectual community in terms of size, and quantity does matter. Been a very busy time because I'm right now, research-wise, working on 3 different things. And I've done them all while being here. So first of all, I'm writing a book with a colleague from Ghana, with Luis Abedi Asante, on African urbanism, right? And so because Africa is the continent where the urbanization rate is the steepest, so African cities are growing and changing so much, and we are writing about how the urban regeneration processes and how the marketplaces, the city as marketplace, is changing in Africa. So that's one thing I've been doing while here, thinking about African urbanism. So the second project that just started is on housing markets in Europe. I mean, housing is everywhere a tight question, and also it is in Europe. And we're working on the question of intergenerational injustice, because in housing studies, there's been a debate whether my generation, like the baby boomers, they're kind of all set, they have their apartments, their houses and everything. But the younger generation have such a hard time getting into the market, be it into the rental market, like in Germany and Berlin, we have 85% renters, or in the home ownership, through the home ownership ladder. And so we're looking in 4 different European countries with colleagues in a team of 10 people, 5 professors, 5 PhD students, comparing 4 different countries, and we're trying to find solutions, what to do about the housing crisis and intergenerational justice. That's the second project. And the third project I've been working on for the last 6 years and will continue for the next 1.5 years is a project on rather what we call in geography, geographical imaginations of the world. Like, what is that? Now, we live in a time of crisis, right? Multiple crises. There's a war on Ukraine, Trump has shaken up, even in his first presidency, and I think he'll continue to do so. He's shaking up geopolitics with America first. So we're having a chaotic, multipolar new world order. And many people, the corona pandemic and so on and so forth, the energy transition, we have such big issues ahead of us. The future seems to be so unsecure that most people are kind of getting insecure and scared, and fear has become a thing, right? Fear is driving so much in politics now. And we're looking at this research project, we're asking everyday people how they digest these geopolitical changes and how this changes their perceptions of the world and how they create kind of new worldviews in their minds. How do they adapt to this? So we call this feminist geopolitics, because it's not looking at elderly statesmen and they're like old white guys doing geopolitics up there, but it's rather looking on the everyday, in everyday life, how people like you and me, how do we digest, how do we adapt, how do we make sense of it, you know? And that's important because that's the basis then how in democracies people vote, you know, which kind of politics come from the street. So that's my third project. So I'm rather busy these days. I really think the Harris program in itself, it's fantastic. It's run by fantastic people. And I think it's so important it's always been important in academia, and it's still important today that we are able to, you know, have these dialogues across, you know, about continents and big divides. So I think having a program that helps establishing these dialogues, that helps making new friends and meeting new colleagues and spending a decent amount of time in other places, I think that's a fantastic program, and I'm delighted to have been part of it.